students, hope you are well and working hard to achieve your goals. So again, welcome to the commerce class. So yesterday we had discussed causes of popularity of joint stock company and types, kinds or classification of companies. So today we will discuss private and public company as a comparative study and privileges of a private company. So now first of all we will discuss some public companies that are providing goods and services in India, like Hindustan Petroleum Corporation, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited, Punjab National Bank, State Bank of India, Steel Authority of India, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. So these are some examples of public companies. Next, there is a private companies like Reliance, Tata, Infosys, Wipro, ITC, Hindustan Lever Limited, ICICI Bank, HDFC. So these are some examples of private companies. Next, there is a certificate of incorporation. So a certificate of incorporation is a legal document that shows you have formed and registered your limited company with the Companies Act 2013. It shows the name of your company, its registration number and the date. It is also shows the type of a company you have been set up and where your registered office is located. Next is certificate of commencement of business. So in this, it refers to a document required under the Companies Act before the business can initiate its operations. Means the certificate of commencement of business was important because only after obtaining the certificate you were allowed to start the business related activities in the market. This is called the certificate of commencement of business. So our topic is private and public companies as a comparative study. So first of all we will discuss private company. Private company, for example, like Reliance, Tata, Infosys, Wipro, ITC, Hindustan Lever, ICICI Bank Limited. So these are some examples of private companies. So a private company is a company which has minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh rupees and control is in the hands of private investors. And there is a lack of government interference in a private companies. So next we will discuss the advantages of private companies. So first advantage is easy formation. Like partnership, private company is also easy to form since there are 2 or more members that are required to form the private company and there is no need to get a certificate of commencement of business. Next is uniformity of management. So it has limited number of members, the management is in the hands of few and they can manage the business effectively and efficiently. Next is direct encouragement. So there is no difference between the owners and the management of the private company. The profits are divided among the shareholders. The members and management thus get more encouragement in this way. Next is limited liability. So in private company, shareholders are liable up to the shares purchased by them of the company. Their personal property is not responsible for any debt. Next is secrecy. So a private company does not have to show any of its registers and statements. So in this way they ensures secrecy. Next is permanent existence. So a private company is also a stable organization. The insolvency or death of members does not affect the existence of the company. So the last advantage is free from legal formalities. A private company is free from many of the unnecessary legal formalities that like memorandum of association or articles of association. This is not compulsory in the private companies. Next is disadvantages of private companies. So first disadvantage is limited membership, as the number of membership cannot exceed 50 in private company, leaving its employees. Next is interest of the shareholders not safeguarded, as the important rules of the act regarding safety of the shareholders does not apply to the private companies. For example, limit of managerial remuneration. So these limits are not fixed and these limits are decided by the board of directors. Next is state priorities to public companies. So the central government give preference to the public companies in the matter of granting licenses or loans is a drawback of a private company. So the last disadvantage is smaller resources. So a private company cannot have more than 50 members. Therefore, the financial and the managerial resources of a private companies are limited to that extent. Next is public company. For example, Coal India Limited, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, Punjab National Bank, State Bank of India. So these are some examples of public companies. So we can say that public company means a company which is not a private company, and a public company has minimum paid up capital of rupees 5 lakh, and there is a control of government, that is called a public company. So now we will discuss some advantages of public companies. So first one is limited liability. As the liability of the shareholders is limited to the extent of the face value of the shares they have, means the shares they purchased in the company, the liability is limited up to that extent. Next is larger resources. So there is no restriction on the number of members in a public company. So therefore public company can arrange large number of financial resources. Third one is transferability of shares. So the public limited company can easily transfer or sold their shares in the market. Next is protection to shareholders. So there are strict rules and regulations of Companies Act that help to safeguard the interest of the shareholders and others who deal with the public companies. Next is economies of scale of production. So the large scale of production carried on by the public company enables them to enjoy the economies of scale. It provides goods to their customers at better and quality and at cheaper rates. Next one is professional or professionalization of management. So management of a company is in the hands of shareholders called the directors, and they are generally professionals with adequate skills, knowledge and experience they have. Next is social benefit. So a public company is more useful to the society. It generates greater employment, quality products and better services at lower rates to their customers. Next is disadvantages of public companies. So first disadvantage is too many legal formalities. So a public company is required to fulfill a large number of legal formalities both at the time of formation as well as in its day-to-day working. Next is delay in decision making. So as in a public company there are large number of members that are included, so it affects the decision making process. Next is lack of secrecy. So in the public company the annual accounts are published, and even the books of accounts like profit and loss or balance sheet are also public or are also published in the registrar of companies. So it is not easy to maintain secrecy in the public companies. Next is operation of minority of interest. So the management is in the hands of majority of shareholders. Minority shareholders have little say in the management. Means the shareholders that have 51% of shares are control the business, and other minority shareholders like 5 to 10% shareholders that they hold, they have nothing to say in the management of the business. Next is speculation in shares. So since the shares of the public company are freely transferable, so people are tempted to speculate in the prices of these shares. So that these are some disadvantages of public companies. So next we will discuss the public and a private company as its difference. So first of all, there is a difference is number of members. So a private company needs at least 2 members for its formation, and maximum is 50 members that they require in a company. Next is public company. So a public company needs at least 7 members, and there is no upper limit for the members that they have. Next is invitation to public. So a private company cannot invite the general public for the subscription of shares or for the issue of shares, but a public company can invite the general public for subscription of shares. Next is allotment of shares. So a private company can allot their shares directly after incorporation, but a public company cannot allot their shares until they fulfill the condition of minimum subscription. Next is issue of prospectus. So a private company, there is no need for issue of prospectus, but in a public company must have to issue a prospectus. Next is commencement of business. So a private company can start their business immediately after its incorporation, but a public company cannot start their incorporation. They had to get a certificate of commencement of business, and after that they can start their company. Next is statutory meeting. So a private company is not under obligation to conduct the meeting, but a public company must have to conduct the meeting or a statutory meeting. Next is share transfer. So transferring of shares is strictly restricted under private company, but there is no restriction on transfer of shares in a public company. Next is number of directors. So a private company must have at least 2 directors, but a public company must have at least 3 directors in their business. Next is loan to directors. So in a private company, loans to directors can be granted without the permission of the central government or a state government, but in a public company, permission from central government is required before granting the loans to their directors. Next is filling of documents. So a private company has to send document like list of directors, their written consent, etc. to their registrar, but in a public company, permission from central government, or we can say that no such documents are sent by the public company to the central government or to the registrar of companies. Next is published account and statement. So public cannot inspect statements like profit and loss account or balance sheet of the private company, but in case of public company, public can inspect statements like profit and loss account or balance sheet. Next is retirement of directors. So retirement of directors is not necessary in case of private company, but in case of public company, at least 1/3 of the directors are to be retired as by the rotation process. Next is use the word limited. So a private company has to use the word private limited at the end of its name, but public company use only limited word at the end of its company's name. Next is legal formalities. So the private company is free from legal formalities like certificate of commencement or issue of prospectus or memorandum of association, but a public company is not free from these formalities. Last is minimum paid up capital. So the minimum paid up capital of private company is 1 lakh rupees, and the minimum paid up capital of public limited company is 5 lakh rupees. So next we will discuss the privileges and exemptions of a private company. So first one is exemptions in formation. So in this case, only 2 members are required to form a private company. There is no limit on the shares and debentures that are to be issued in a private company. No need to file a prospectus in case of private company, and also private company there is no need to buy a certificate of commencement of business. Next, there is exemptions of meeting. So it is not required to call any statutory meeting. In the Companies Act, rules regarding meetings may not apply to the private companies. Next, exemptions regarding share capital. So the directors of private companies can raise capital from existing shareholders also, or from other persons, or from other financial institutions also, as they think fit in the business. Second, the rules of Companies Act do not apply to the private company regarding division of share capital and the voting rights of the members. Next exemptions is regarding the managerial remuneration. So the limit of managerial remuneration, which is 11%, does not apply to a private company. Next, exemptions regarding transfer of shares. So if the directors deny the transfer of shares, such denial cannot be challenged before the central government. Next is exemptions regarding manager. So in this, any institution commission can appoint as its manager. A manager of private company can become the manager of many other companies also. His appointment can be made for more than 5 years in a private company. Next, exemptions from central government. So the rights of the central government regarding change in the board of directors does not apply to the private company. Last exemption is exemptions regarding directors. So in this, a private company can carry on its business with 2 directors only. The rules regarding appointment and retirement of directors does not apply to the private company. The approval by the central government is also not required. In case of increase in the number of directors, there is no limit, or this decision is up to the private company. There is no limit of age of directors. There is a change in the condition of appointment or reappointment of the managing director. The directors or the rights of directors are also not bound by any of the rules and regulations that are provided by the government. There is no limit on remuneration of managers and directors. The registers of the directors need not contain any date of birth of directors. And the last one is, loans or economic help can be given to the directors without any permission to the central or state government. So these are some exemptions that are provided to the private company. So now this is all about today's topic. So now you have to write the question answers. So first question is, define and distinguish between a private and a public company. A private company has certain concessions as compared to the public company. What are those concessions? Explain them. So go through the various links so that you can write the answer of these questions.